Welcome to the This Too Shall Cast podcast, episode number 3. Today we're going to be talking about taking off the masks. And I'm here with my buddy Lenny. Super excited to be here. So before we get into it, I want to let you know that both of us are in recovery ourselves. We both have that history. And myself, I come from a pretty well-off family, both parents together, kind of the white picket fence family, and still ended up down the road of active addiction. So myself, clean for 16 years myself, and I'm just loving the process of recovery. I've learned a lot over the years, and I'm happy to share it here on this podcast. So
once again, thanks very much for your attention and your participation in the last couple episodes. It's been very, very, very wonderful to see you getting into it. And once again, glad to be here. My name's Lenny, and I am a recovering person who has been in and around recovering circles since around the time I was 23 or 24 years old. I'm in my late 50s now, 57 years old. And after a lengthy career that went hand in hand with my addiction as a professional DJ, I have now kind of done a right turn and embarked on a new career as an addictions professional. I went back to school and got my accreditation to be an addiction counselor. So that's where I'm at right now. And this podcast is another facet of what we are hoping to do to help ourselves and hopefully someone else with respect to what we're talking about here.
The comments are filled with, and I assure you we're going to get into the topic real soon, so stay tuned, it's coming. But I just wanted to pay some respects to the people who are leaving comments and who are thanking us for what we're doing, and it kind of helps us. I mean, this podcast is going to happen regardless, right? Because our passion is what drives us. But it is really nice to hear that it is helping people. So,
like and share.
Yeah, share, subscribe. Make sure your friends are listening to it. Mm-hmm. And let our buddy Algorithm. Yeah, remember that guy?
Do his thing.
Yeah, let him do his thing. So, but liking the video really helps that everything. I'll do all the things. So I appreciate you being here with us today. So, taking off the masks. We were, Lenny and I were discussing a few days ago, and the topic just kind of materialized there right in front of us. Yeah. We were like, boom, that is what we're going to be talking about today. So, I would say the first part is, so when we're talking about taking off the masks, it's, I would say, referring to hiding behind them and how that affects addicts, how that affects, people who have to deal with addicts, people's mental health and all that stuff. It's the masks that we hide behind, I would say, versus, not being a dishonest person, I think are two very different things.
Correct.
And I think, you can get them mixed up.
For sure. I think.
And then maybe someone takes it the wrong way. But as an addict, I have these masks, not to make excuses to have them, but we do hide behind them because they do, to some degree, are familiar and they help me navigate things to a certain degree. But at some point, they got to come off.
For sure.
Right? So
I might myself go as far as to say that the phenomenon of wearing masks is not exclusive to people who have addictions. To be honest with you, I know that for varying reasons, it's probably something that a lot of people do, as opposed to as opposed to being their authentic self, as opposed to being true to themselves. But I think if you want to talk about it, it kind of can fall into 3 categories, 2 or 3 categories. One is not being who you are for your family, for your circle, for the people that you happen to be hanging out with. And I can speak to that in that there have been times when I personally have kind of been a bit of a chameleon with respect to who I felt I needed to be to maybe not necessarily to impress, but to get by in certain situations.
Or get what you want.
Or get what I want.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, get by, those are probably interchangeable.
Yep. Yep.
And so that said, standing outside a room full of people, I might metaphorically take a look inside, see who's in there, and who I might have to be, or who I might be expected to be, to get along in that situation, and then just become that. And in doing that, I think it got tied into the particular substances that were in that room sometimes, or the particular people that were in that room, and led me further and further away from the person that I was originally, or the person that I'm meant to be, right? So when eventually, after having done that for years, it's easy to forget who you were. It's easy. It's easy for other people, people who are trying to get a handle on us as people. Who is this person? Who is Lenny?
Right. Hard to pin them down.
I don't understand you.
Right.
Well, we'll probably get this a little bit later on. Neither did I. Really, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But that said, I think there's probably a little chameleon in most of us.
Yeah.
All right.
Guilty.
Right.
Guilty as charged.
So that level of social dishonesty can also it can also be said that we are once again dishonest with ourselves, because of the fact that when I wear a particular mask for a length of time, I begin to think that's me. I know that in my former career, I felt like there were times when heading into a function or heading into an event, I wasn't particularly feeling it when I was getting out of the car.
Yep.
So or I was having a particularly off day, but when you are required to be on,
Yep.
it was often necessary for me to be something else.
Yep.
And I think the substances became a big part of that as well for me.
Yep.
It was easier for me to wear a mask when I was altering my state of consciousness. So yeah, that led me to a basic, not just being dishonest with others, but being dishonest with myself.
Well, I was just gonna say, with that part of it, with the dishonesty with myself, like you said, you do it for long enough, you lose yourself.
For sure.
And then you become the mask that was originally set forth as
Correct.
either maybe a way to cope with social anxiety,
Yeah.
or a way to help myself maybe like myself more, or some form of
Correct.
distortive thinking that way, right? But not to say that any of it's right or wrong.
No.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And eventually, and I can speak from experience, is that I did lose myself in my active addiction. I was the main chameleon of the chameleons. I was like the boss chameleon, right?
For sure.
Like I could shape shift my way into any situation that and whatever it required, or if I saw some kind of perceived social threat, or maybe they'll think a certain way about me and perceive me in a different way, I would just peace out, or just like put up the wall, never mind the mask, right?
sure,
And just
sure.
kind of just check right out.
Either physically or chemically.
Exactly. So and then
Really, at the end
and
of
then
the day.
when you said, I looked into that room and I saw drugs on the table, and in order to be part of, I had to partake. And hey, if that's what it takes to get in,
when in Rome, do as the Romans do.
it's it, right? If I want to be Roman,
For sure, right?
right?
If that's your thing.
If you're into
if being Roman is your thing, yeah. And it always, I always think about how much mileage I could have saved myself had I just listened to our mother. There's one for you.
she gets her redemption piece there.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
She called it way more times than I care to admit.
Right.
And one of the things that, like everybody else, like a lot of other people's mothers, she said, if Alex jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge too?
Yeah.
Well, I kind of did, Ma.
We're already in the water.
We're already in the water. Several times.
Several times.
And
yeah.
that, so once that bridge jumping becomes a habit, it's tough. It's tough to change. Mm-hmm. It's tough to admit, right? So yeah.
Can you? I want to ask you a question, Lenny.
Please do.
If you were, let's turn the camera outward, or let's turn the perspective outward, and go, in what way did I use a mask to change my public perception?
For sure.
So, can you give us some examples?
Well,
from your own experience.
Well, as I said, being in the entertainment industry, I think it's a given that your public, your audience, expects a certain person to show up. I ran into situations where I had an exceptionally good party as the DJ, and people saw me in a certain light as a result of, a certain number of circumstances that went into the person and the event, and the time was right, and the people who were there, and the energy from the room, and they saw a snapshot of who I was. And based on that, they might say, "We want you at our party." But what they really meant is they don't want me at that. They want this guy,
right,
at their party.
Yeah.
And being keenly aware of that was a blessing and a curse, because of the fact that I felt like I needed to be on, and I needed to be this guy every night, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean that kind of wraps up, my former occupation, my persona, where everybody knew my name, and everyone was glad to see me, and I would literally, in some cases, arrive to set up my equipment, and people would be like, "Yay!"
The applause.
I hadn't done anything.
Right.
Right. So for me to say that even became an addiction as well.
I'm just gonna ask that question, dude.
to say that didn't,
because that'd be a good feeling. That'd be a high in and of itself. There
is no there's no substance that compared to it. To be honest with you, it was. So that said, I also felt like in losing myself, I had a lot of other stuff going on too. I was still a new father, and I was still a brother to my brothers and sisters. I was still a friend to a handful of good friends, and at the end of the day, I found myself wanting to be DJ Lenny more often.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
At the end of the day, all of those other areas of my life either suffered, were underserved, or got absorbed into this
Persona.
this other life.
Yeah. I was just when you're sharing about that. So I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's all right.
You're good.
No worries, no worries.
Because while you're riffing, I'm riffing, and I'm thinking about stuff too. And when you said, I'm showing up, and I'm basically the man, you know, that is I would say,
Yeah.
I'm a rock star. Like
Yeah.
that, who wouldn't like that? Like well, there's some people who wouldn't like that.
Some people
But
wouldn't like that.
But then there's so when you're saying that, I'm like, I always think about the spectrum that there exists, and that's ego.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
So ego, I was taught, is a spectrum, and it's either the pin or the pump.
For sure.
So what I need sometimes it varies depending on the situation, whatever it is. So, and this little saying that goes around the recovery community quite a bit is, I'm an egotistical maniac with an inferiority complex.
Correct.
Walking around at all times,
Yeah.
it's within me.
Mm.
And in order to cope with that, I look for opportunities. Now, there's people who do the, you know, the man, I am the man, and then there's people who play the victim. And that's another form of like
For sure.
mask.
For sure.
Because then people will cater to whatever, and you might get things, and it's just I've seen that as well. I've
sure.
done it as well, right? Like playing the victim.
Just back,
You know?
just to back up a teeny tiny bit.
Yep.
You did hit a chord with me when you said egomaniac with an inferiority complex. While that false persona was very alluring and addicting and exciting, being in the spotlight and having to be on, as I said, also scares the hell out of me. It's not, it's like walking a tightrope for me. I really enjoy the accolades, and I really enjoy being the center of attention, but it scares the hell out of me.
Yeah. At the same time.
At the same time.
Yeah, all within one person.
Yeah.
In one mind.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and as I got further and further into that, I walked away from, or forgot about, or lost my authentic self. I lost the person that I started with. Getting back there now, over time, and with a lot of work, doing a lot of work. But yeah.
So would it be possible? So now I'm going to turn the camera the other way at myself, or the mirror. Let's talk the mirror. We talk about the mirror all the time. Let's turn the mirror to ourselves, and then ask the question. I'm going to ask you, and you can, and I'll answer too. But is there a mask that is worn? And I'm only asking because I do it. But is there a mask that's worn?
It's a loaded question.
It's a loaded question.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but we've talked about this in the past too,
Go ahead.
and it is a concept that is really, it's at the core of my recovery, right? Like, so the when we turn the mirror inward, and is there a mask that we wear to, help us deal with I don't know.
Well, I think it's
Maybe we don't know who we are.
for sure.
And then we have to put on this persona
Yeah.
to show ourselves.
I absolutely forgot where I started and wasn't particularly concerned with finding my way back. You know, it was a great ride, but I think probably moving into the next thing that we wanted to talk about was these masks that we wear and the escapes that we choose on a regular basis. They come at a cost.
Yep.
You know, both to ourselves, to our relationships, to our self-esteem, to our future, and sometimes to our lives, right? So the next thing that we kind of envisioned talking about was how, and once again we're going to things that in some circles are cliche, but for those of you who haven't heard these ones before, they're cliches for a reason, and nothing that if I come out with anything that sounds incredibly profound or earth-shattering, I probably borrowed it from somebody somewhere with permission.
Right.
The next one is that addiction is trading everything for one thing, and recovery is trading one thing for everything. You know, so the cost of that solace, the cost of that place to hide, the cost of that escapism into all of these different masks ultimately was everything else for me, you know,
Including yourself.
including myself,
Yep.
including my relationships,
Yep.
including time, including my self-esteem. So what I was there was practically no limit to what I was willing to trade for that sense of ease and comfort and belonging, right? So, like I said, I just about traded everything for that one thing, and only somebody who's been down that road can truly understand the magnitude of what it means to sell yourself for temporary relief from something that just keeps an emptiness that just keeps coming back.
Well, I traded my soul for to feel normal,
Correct.
you know, or to fit in, and
To feel anything.
like and I thought and it distorted my sense of reality to where it was okay. This is it. This is how it is now, and drugs are just part of my life now, and
Correct.
I will use drugs probably for the rest of my life. So screw it. Let's get high.
Right.
And but trade, and like you said, traded everything. What was I willing to trade? Well, I would say at times in my recovery, I'd be like, well, I wouldn't do that.
Correct.
That would mean I was messed up.
For sure.
Who the hell would do that?
I think a lot of people go through a period where they say, that guy.
Yeah.
I know I had a few examples in my life where I said, if I get like him,
Yeah. Then
please
yeah.
let me know.
Yeah.
Because at that point, I'm done.
Right.
And shortly thereafter, find myself
Crawling around on the carpet.
doing those
Yeah.
very things.
Yep.
That I judged other people for doing.
Yep.
And You know, a couple specific examples I won't really get into, but it becomes, for me, it became apparent that with this lack of control, this lack of accountability, my boundaries started to slip.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what was I willing to do? Depends.
And it's not like you're unaware
No.
that you're crossing your boundary.
No, no.
You know, like we're
It's
not like we're
almost
just
like it's almost like it's like a calculated risk,
justification.
just rationalization and
Yeah.
justification.
Yeah.
So yeah, I traded a lot in order to stay sick, and you know, as I keep coming back to retrospect, hindsight is always 2020. Now looking back from where I am today, in a healthier place, in a you know, back to some semblance of, on my way back, because I'm, you know, it's a journey, on my way back to some semblance of reality and the person that I feel like I was meant to be. Looking back, I'm like, I can't believe I.
Yeah.
You know,
What was wrong with me?
what the heck was I?
What was I thinking?
Clearly, I wasn't.
Right.
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 And you know, for me, that the only thing I can say is that it's necessary for me to have compassion for myself, to look upon the actions of my past and the choices of my past as being, these were my choices, this is me. I am not my choices, right? The things that I chose to do, that I carry regret for, or in some cases that I carry shame for. Those things, the Lenny that you're looking at right now would never do.
Right.
You know.
But with that mask on.
With that mask on and that that need to not be who I was, where I was, that inability to accept or deal with life on life's terms, there became, morality became fluid, really. And
Could kind of, like, it could come and go. Like, if I needed to apply it to look good,
for sure,
because I'm this moral guy,
sure,
this
for sure.
upstanding guy.
Yeah, I wanted everybody to think
Sure. Yep.
I was, solid,
In control.
in control, and
Full, like a well-rounded individual.
on top of it,
The man.
the illusion,
Yeah.
the illusion of control.
Yep.
So
And that in and of itself is a mask. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
Like that's probably like
absolutely.
it's a form of justification to keep doing what I'm doing. It's a form of, well, it ain't that bad what I'm doing. I mean, you go to any employer that I had, when the ones I chose to tell about my recovery process, they said, Alex, I had no idea.
We had no idea. Yeah.
We had no clue.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, if they knew what I was doing,
Yeah.
well, I'd be off to their treatment They can't fire you, but I'd be off to it was a union guy, so I'd be off to their treatment facility, right? They had no clue.
I come from the never let them see you sweat school of addiction.
Yeah, yeah.
Where,
Real men can handle their.
pardon me,
Oh yeah.
pshaw.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Look down your nose.
Yeah, for sure. And your tie's crooked.
Yeah.
You're wearing one shoe.
Those upper class addicts, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But anyways, that said, in addition to the cost, but once again, back to looking on the upside of that, we'll go to trading one thing for everything. So for me, where I'm at today, I recognize the fact, just for today, and it has to be for me a one day at a time thing. I recognize the fact that today I can't have mood or mind altering substances be a part of my day, or I lose all of those things that matter to me today.
Mm-hmm.
It's a choice that is so, you know, it's so obvious to me today, and it almost makes me want to kick myself to recognize the fact that it took me a long road to get to this point. But fortunately and thankfully for today, I have the train stopped. And one of the things I was thinking of today is it's so much easier to keep the train stopped than it was to get the train
To
stopped.
stop it from, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And as a result of keeping that one thing out of my life, all of these other benefits and joys and relationships and fulfillment and understanding, enlightenment, friendships are,
Yeah. Yeah.
are possible.
Yep.
Almost
Hell
got
yeah,
me there.
dude. Hell yeah, dude.
You know, love you, buddy.
I love you, man.
But yeah, yeah, it's.
I was just gonna say, to really simplify, the minute we put dope down, I had no need to go to my dealer's house. Right? Like, if you want to talk about instant, life changing, benefits of not using. Well, I don't. I am not required now to go to the trap house or
Yeah.
the dealer's place anymore. No, and Lenny says this thing all the time. He goes, "If I'm not within arm's reach of drugs, I will not use."
Ever.
It's, you know what? It's simple,
Ever.
but he won't use.
It's
You can't reach him. But it's yeah, it's like, is it kind of funny? Sure, and it's like, yeah, obviously, Alex, but
it's surprising, as simple as that truth sounds to say, that if I never come within
yeah,
6 feet of an addictive substance again, I will never use.
yeah. It won't fall out of the sky and get into my lungs
and get into your system.
right?
So, has the answer been that simple the whole time? Probably.
Right.
And you know, the simple truths. The simple truth is that I'm no longer willing to pay the price. For the few times that the thought of trading in my chips and going back to the life that I just scratched and scraped to get out of.
Yeah.
The thought of tossing all of this in, this is the, something that I have to acknowledge for myself, is that there are still times, and I think that most people who are addicted will at some point admit that they do have the odd time where we consider trading it all in briefly for everything. We can't play with those thoughts. Like, that's the time when I'm calling Alex.
Hell yeah.
That's the time when I'm
thinking about doing this,
yeah,
Alex.
and I fortunately have a more than a handful of people who I trust, more than a handful of people who have carte blanche with my thought processes, and with I'll definitely give them a call and let them know. And I think that's part of how I have fallen short in the past, is not being willing to, it's this whole thing, I think, starts in my thinking, right?
Yeah.
My thinking,
Where the disease resides.
it resides
Between your ears.
between my ears. This
bastard.
is a bad neighborhood.
Oh.
This 6
Alone,
inches.
alone up there with your thoughts?
Don't go up there alone. Right?
Oh, buddy. Yeah, it's a dangerous place,
It's a dangerous neighborhood.
Yeah.
Take your wallet and
Yeah.
and your shoes.
Yeah, just leave it by the door. Don't bring it in, because...
Yeah. But yeah, my thoughts, sometimes, as wonderful as my life is today, as rich and varied as my friendships are today, I'm lost dreams and possibilities are awakening, and amazing friendships are both springing up and being rekindled, and I have open lines of communication with some people who I never thought would want to talk to me again.
Right.
Yeah.
And just by putting that mask down.
Putting that mask down.
We get everything.
Putting
Putting down one thing.
I traded the one thing for everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where that kind of wraps up with that for me.
Well, and we say, like, there's a term, or a saying that goes around, or bumper sticker, if you will. That's we got to change. You only got to change one thing in recovery, and that's everything.
Everything.
Playgrounds, playthings,
playmates,
and well, when Lenny was just sharing there, when you were just sharing there, Lenny, I was thinking how vital it was to my continued recovery and sobriety to have people that can see through my masks. And those are people who are in recovery. For me, as soon as I came, but like, if you can get down with somebody who is, after the same things you are and went through similar struggles, then I would say it's like you can't con a con.
Right.
You can't pull the wool over my eyes, because I'm you. And
For sure.
so it wouldn't, without that, there wouldn't be a place where I can completely unravel if I need to. If there's a place, without a place for me to go,
Correct.
where there's similar folk to me. It doesn't have to be the rooms of a 12-step program. It could be like a group therapy session, or it could be maybe a volunteer group where everyone's in it for the same reason. I think the point I'm trying to make is that when you align yourself with people who have similar or who are dealing and trying to better themselves in a similar way, then it's a lot easier for me, it was a lot easier to let my guard down.
For sure.
and be myself, and then ultimately find out who I am again. And then all of a sudden you sit different, you talk different. My head would hang wherever I went. I couldn't look people in the eye.
No.
I couldn't carry a conversation because there was already one going on between my ears, and it was telling me how bad of a person I was, or remember those things you said that time? Don't say that again. Just don't talk. You sound like an idiot, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And because I was able to, and maybe this can be something we land on, but is the importance of that, is having similar like similarities between people, or like that something that unites everybody together in a common
For sure.
way.
Yeah, you know what?
You know.
I'm while you were just speaking right there, it occurred to me too that while that's true, while I have found a lot of identification and healing and understanding in the company of people who have been down the same and similar roads, I also have to admit that I know a whole lot of really, really cool, healthy people who have not
Mm-hmm.
been down these roads as well. And I think that up until very recently, you know, I had no idea those people even existed. Like, why would I ever have wanted to even seek them out?
Right.
I wanted nothing to do with quote unquote the normies.
Right.
But some of them are pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I find that part of the reason why that I'm grateful that I'm able to carry on a conversation outside of recovery circles is because there's so much more to learn. There's so much that I was closed off to and unwilling to engage as a result of having to keep my circle small and keep myself in certain circles.
Yeah.
And indulge my appetites and my cravings and to wear these masks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I almost forgot how to speak other languages. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so
Like in terms of fitting into the lifestyle.
sitting
You
down
you
in, sitting
speak-
down in a restaurant.
Yeah.
You know, I used to have almost the
Like a spidey sense for other addicts kind of thing.
yeah
What
kind
you're
of
saying?
and
And like predisposition to addicts, like, and then this is
For sure.
the world now we live in, and
yeah but I think we run the risk of being pigeonholed into only being able to relate to.
right, got it.
I think
100%.
that's what I'm trying to say.
100%.
Is that
I fell into that
yeah
because I mean you finally find a place where you fit in,
yeah
and you think that you love these people, you think the world of these people, and then but yeah, it can blind you.
I think I often
Right?
find myself thinking, wait a minute, there's a whole rest of the world
Yeah,
out there, and some people have what I aspire to, and some of those people have never put a drug in their body at all.
mm-hmm.
You know, so that said, trading that one thing opens me up to that possibility as well. Um, Not to quote our literature, but it says lost in our literature. It says lost dreams awaken, and new possibilities arise as a result of the changes that we've been so hesitant, dragging our feet and digging in our heels on making. But yeah, it's a wonderful, it's a good trade.
And while you're saying, I was so when we kind of like pigeonhole ourselves, I think I can only speak for myself, my experience. So as an active addict, you're now categorized as such, and then you kind of assume that people who don't do it want nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because now this is your life and
sure.
whatever, right? So the shame and the guilt, that mask that we wear, keeps us blocked off, and it tells us, no, you can't consult or whatever you can't interact with those people. You can't relate to those people because they haven't done what you've done, and
Totally
they won't get what they won't get you and all this stuff. And it's like, well, being clean for a while, and you just said it, like the recovery process has allowed me to grow and then reintegrate into society and be a productive member of society
For sure.
who can,
Yeah.
who's allowed to interact with anyone they want.
For sure.
And, maybe the quote unquote normies, as we were calling them before, they may look at addicts and categorize themselves as such as well and keep themselves. But I'll tell you, if you met someone in recovery who's, clean and everything, you wouldn't, as someone who doesn't use drugs or whatever, you probably wouldn't be able to tell
No.
a recovering person, just face value, right?
Correct.
So it's one of those, I think, masks that I know I wore that kept me sick and using and full of shame and full of guilt because of all the bad things that I did. Closed me off from that sector of the community.
For sure.
Because, they're the good ones and I'm the bad one. Or,
and I think it's worth saying too that a lot of these behaviors and beliefs and long, old masks served a purpose for a long time, and to say that we just don't choose to be somebody else for no reason. There's often sometimes those masks keep you safe in certain situations. Sometimes it's not just always about getting what you want. It's not just always about being selfish and self-serving. Sometimes it's about being safe. Sometimes it's about finding community. Just found what's Garth Brooks says. I got friends in low places.
Yeah.
When I found that I can now have a conversation with those people still as somebody who's not using. I can relate to and empathize with people who are
like life on life's terms.
Yeah, for sure. With people
because that's what they're doing.
100%.
Maybe.
100%.
But,
maybe.
yeah.
Maybe. But so I basically I have adapted to and adopted the fact that my terms are different today.
Yeah.
My terms are different.
Yeah.
And I am open to the fact that there's a whole big world out there. Right?
Yeah. And that mask that the one thing we put down, we get everything in return. It doesn't have to apply to just the dope. I find it also applies to behaviors, even continuing on in my sobriety. I get attached to things a lot more intensely than, say, someone who doesn't have the disease of addiction, who suffers from it.
Yeah.
So I tend to, I have an addictive personality. If I don't, a lot of people say, oh, I'm not an addict, but I have an addictive personality. But to the 10th degree. I mean, I haven't used drugs in a very long time. Doesn't negate the fact that I'm not an addict. So
Correct.
my go-to is to seek comfort. How do you say it? To seek comfort with externally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when I notice myself doing that, it's a good sign that there's some form of mask involved.
For sure.
To some level, and it's just the practice of putting the dope down and giving up that one thing for everything is a pretty good setup and a good life hack to take with you through the journey of recovery. It's not like you just do it once,
right,
and then it's all good. It's that practice and that kind of principle we now use, like tool in the toolbox. We pull it out.
It's an awareness.
Yeah.
That carries forward to the fact that sometimes for me, that same beast can change its suit, go into the next room, change its suit, and come back into the room as social media or pizza or girls or whatever, gambling,
Yeah.
or any number of things that distract me from. And you know what? Like to recognize the fact that I still have those tendencies. It's not necessarily a horrible thing, because it's a progress, not perfection thing, and it's a journey. And I am definitely not the guy that I used to be. I'm definitely growing, learning, becoming better as I go. And also I'm capable of giving myself a break, which is very important for me too. So, but back to the people who I have affected, or who my madness has affected in my life. I don't blame them for taking it personally. Leading into
Yeah, what we were talking about earlier.
we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah. How could you?
I used to. There was a time when I was when I was so completely self-centered and so completely wrapped up in what what I needed, that it was an imposition for me to even consider somebody else's feelings. It got in the way.
Yeah.
So.
And it's not, and it's like I knew it was wrong, but was willing to kind of push that aside.
For sure.
To serve this demon
Beast.
within me, this beast, like you were just saying, where it changes clothes, right?
Yeah.
The things I'm willing to either ignore,
yeah,
the truths I'm willing to ignore, because just because I'm an addict doesn't mean I don't have a conscience. I do have the ability to decide.
Yeah, and nothing today to dampen that conscience.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I can find ways to dampen it.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of temptation out there.
Yeah.
For one, money is a huge mask I hide behind.
For sure.
Success is a huge mask I hide behind. Because
Yeah.
it's like, well, I don't have to work as hard because I'm successful.
Right.
I'm the successful guy.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
In my mind, right?
So really, at the end of the day, if you collect 500,000 newspapers, you end up on Hoarders, and if you collect $5 billion, you end up on Forbes magazine.
Yeah, right.
So,
you just have lots of
really at the end of the day, chasing status, and chasing stuff. Although, it's good to be good at what you do, and people like us have to be wary.
That's it.
Of that.
Yep.
So yeah, look, and the cost. It's risk reward cost of these wearing these masks to get what it is that we think we want, both to ourselves and to those we care about, has to be considered.
Well, I used the justification or the mask of, I'm providing, I am doing the right thing, and look out when you got not just an addict, but an addict with conviction.
Yeah.
Like, look out. That's more powerful than a steam locomotive.
It's justifiable.
A justified addict. Look out.
Justification and rationalization and all the answers in the world.
Wrapped up in a pretty little bow. And
for sure.
And, and then you get all these expectations of how people should treat you. And, all of that what I'm saying is the awareness I have of that is only because I've been able to put the mask down. And then, like we were talking about just now, is we have that tool in the toolbox, that awareness that this could, could this be my disease acting up, or like I call it an allergy, right? Like, is this is the symptoms I have? Is it an inflamed allergy? Like, you can seriously look at, like, my ego getting inflamed like that is a symptom of this disease, right? And it'll make me, so when, you see, like, what Lenny was just saying was about the, not taking it personally. We were just talking about that before we sat down. It's like how it would be almost impossible to see the other person's point of view when you're in it.
Correct.
As the addict here, that and hard to have compassion for that person when you're convicted like that.
For sure.
When you're caught in the grip.
And vice versa, I find it when I consider the feelings of the people that I affected, how could they not take it personally?
Right.
What incredibly what an incredible level of egoism do I have to blame you for being upset, for me, for upsetting your life.
Yeah. I'm not doing nothing wrong.
For sure.
Or and that's just, we say, we also say in the program is, we're not, especially when someone's dealing with another addict who's, like, say, quote unquote normie, or a parent who has a child who's addicted. Usually the first thing I'll try and, because I've had that number of times, people reaching out to me asking me, what do I do with my kid? Right? And first thing I'll say to them is, well, it's not your kid you're dealing with. Right?
Precisely.
You're dealing with the disease.
That other thing.
That other, and don't take it personally that they're lying and they're stealing and they're caught in the grips of something that is controlling their lives. And that was me. And me.
Doesn't mean you have to accept it.
No,
it doesn't mean you have to rationalize or
justify it.
Or
for them, or
we are still should be held to account and responsible.
Yeah.
However, as I'm also fond of saying, I never set out.
Yep.
To mess with anybody's day or disrespect anybody's the level of love and care and compassion and what do you call it? Looking a gift horse in the mouth when people were just trying to help me, just had other priorities.
Yeah, it wasn't for any lack of
nothing
respect.
personal.
Yeah, it was, but as an addict, I'll be full of shame and guilt because that you think that's you, and then through the recovery process I went through, the first thing was that was laid out to us is you're sick. Yeah. You're not a bad person who does bad things. You're a sick person who needs to get better, and it's not a cop out. Because the first thing I said, well, that's kind of, now I get to, like, excuse myself. Well, no, you get to forgive yourself.
For sure.
Because I'll tell you, the hardest person on me is me.
Is you.
Oh. And I'm with me 24/7, 365.
For sure. And those thoughts of guilt and shame and remorse are the quickest way back to the behavior that got you there in the first place. I'll repeat myself, I am not my choices.
Right.
I'm a good person who made some lousy choices.
Yeah.
And
some mistakes.
I think the more recovering persons I get to know, You know, I meet some wonderful, wonderful people in recovery.
Yeah.
And then we get talking about our choices, and I'm like,
You?
whoa, really?
Yeah.
You know, or
We've had that.
absolutely,
Yeah.
or even funnier still, I go, yeah, you too.
Oh yeah. Then the phones come out
Is
with all
that
the
it?
pictures.
Is that it?
Right. Oh, is it? Yeah, buddy.
Please.
Oh,
You
that
know?
was my first sponsor. I
Yeah,
told him
yeah,
this.
yeah.
There was some. I had.
Then
I was taking something to the grave, right?
Yeah.
And I told him, and he was like,
Is that all?
"That's it." You know, which
know,
was
I-
nice at the time. But,
For
yeah.
sure. For sure.
Anyways, we're. I think we're out of time for today.
Okay.
Great episode, man.
I'm spent. That was wonderful.
Yeah.
Good talk.
Yeah.
Good
So,
talk. Good talk.
Good talk. Again, remember, like, subscribe, do all the things, comment. We are in the comments all the time. So
Yes.
if you do have a question, we will respond. If you do have a topic, it will be talked about,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to thank everyone for your continued support and the views. It's great. I'm having a great time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So once again, till the next time, everybody, thanks very much for having us, letting us rattle on, and we hope you're getting something out of it. If nothing else, we are, definitely.
Yeah.
So till the next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.